I don't know how their eyes can be so good that they can see on YouTube that this button's unbuttoned. They must be looking at my dick or something because, I mean, I don't know how they can, but I had some questions about it. The reason why the button on a properly dressed waistcoat is because Henry VIII was such a fat fuck, like a couple of you in this room, and he couldn't button his vest, so he left the bottom button unbuttoned. And that's how the style started. And that's why bespoke, not tailor-made, but bespoke, and we'll discuss this later, suits, when there's a button unbuttoned, it's not because I forgot to button it. First of all, your buttons, most of you don't button. It's to tell you, fuck you, this is a bespoke suit, asshole. And when you want to really say fuck you, you unbutton 2 buttons. And if you want to say suck my ass, you unbutton them all. And why do they unbutton to begin with? Because surgeons back in the day, when they performed surgery, they kept their suit coats on. They could cut and, spice and dice with their suit on. That's how it started. Of course, I'm sure all you know that, being the finely educated and finely dressed people that you are, with your Starbucks suits on. Anybody buy their clothes at Starbucks here? You think I'm joking? Okay, I just wanted to go around the room and say your first name, where you're from, and how old you are. Not your life fucking story, because nobody cares. I already told you the mean is 30.6. The average is 36 because of the old git. He fucked up the average, but most of you are in your 30s, middle 30s. We have a couple of old ones, one in the 50s and a couple in the late 40s. Otherwise, this is the new demographic. Oh, young man, okay.
Johan, Belgium 26.
Million?
Yes.
I like that fucking name. Okay, go ahead.
Ethiopia, Texas.
Where?
Ethiopia, Texas.
Okay.
Quad 33, Canada.
Yeah, Singapore 54.
Johan, 29, London.
Mike, Pennsylvania, USA, I'm 33.
Marcel, 39, Germany.
Yeah.
36, Austria.
David, 29, UK.
Yari, 20, Netherlands. John, 45, USA.
Mark, 41, UK.
Paul, 26, Germany.
Miguel, 22, Portugal.
Brett, 41, USA.
Adam Burton, 40, USA.
Michael, 19, USA.
Jeremy Fuentes, California, United States.
Alec, 33, USA.
Klaus, 30 from Germany.
Chris, 25, Israel.
Daniel, USA, 20.
Jeff, 33 from Liverpool.
Glenn, Australia, 39.
Liverpool University, or University of Liverpool, they wouldn't let me on campus when I gave my talk. They wouldn't let me on. Oxford let me on campus. But Liverpool, in their infinite stupidity, so I gave my talk there in a, what do you call it? A big empty building loft. So whenever I hear the word Liverpool now, forevermore, I have nothing good to think about it. It leaves a bad memory. We have from all over, like United Nations, just based on the voices. I seem to be hot in Ethiopia recently because I get a lot of Ethiopians. I expect them to stagger up like with a stick and sandals and barely any clothes on the back. But you're from all over, and as I said last night, this is the last chance saloon. This is it. The good news is this system works. The bad news is not everybody takes advantage of it. There's no question that it works. And tonight, I'm going to give you our track record for last year and ask you, each one of you, part of your homework assignment, to what's the takeaway when you look at it. Not just the obvious takeaways like a teenage multimillionaire, which is, pretty fucking staggering. But as I told some of you last night, that has had a reverse effect. I would have thought that it would have given everybody that listens to us on YouTube, everybody that follows QLA, incentive. If a teenage kid can be a multimillionaire, well, what the fuck, why can't I? It hasn't worked that way. It's that, well, I'm less than. Well, he's, Josh, if you're listening to this, don't get your head too fucking big. Well, he's so fucking, he's Superman. There's only one Superman. And I can't do it. So that's the effect it's had. Just a 180-degree different than I thought. And that's why one of my favorite sayings is never underestimate how wrong you can be. I would have bet my fucking life that would have had a positive effect. Now, for the majority, it hasn't. For the minority, it has. Well, fuck, if that kid can do it, why can't I? And one of the things that will be stunning for you is that when you get out there and you start implementing this stuff, and it's all about implementing and execution, it's how you won't believe that they can't believe, especially for those of you that are young, that you're out there doing it. Like for the kids, 19, 20-year-olds, the kids in their early 20s, and they'll tell you, you got the rest of your life, don't be in such a hurry, and then you look at them. Always remember, when people are saying things that aren't necessarily positive to you, look where they are in life. I.e. your parents, i.e. your significant other. Where are they? And as I told you yesterday to some of you, when I ask people, would you want your kids to be like you, 99% of them say no. 99%. Because we're supposed to think we want a better life for our kids, right? That's what we're supposed to think. I've had people in this room that don't think that way, but so when they're criticizing and then you bump up against the naysayers, just remember, where are they in life? Where are they in life? Last night you saw the please pass your homework in round to the ends. You saw the movie, you saw first of all the bicycle, right? What are some of the takeaways from the bicycle? How many engineers do we have in the room? Okay. How many, no, I don't give a, okay. What's the takeaway about the bike? Pardon?
The longer you are conditioned to have a habit, the harder it is to break.
Amen to that. And where the 6-year-old or the 8-year-old, he picked it up in a lot less time than the dad. And then the dad went back to default almost immediately, and it was harder for him to come back. Default's a motherfucker. And when you get out there, your default is your social and economic milieu that you've lived in and come from. I.e. your parents, your mates. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. If you go back to spending Sunday, now they have football Tuesdays, Thursdays, Friday. If you go back to watching football games, American football games, with your buddies, that's default. And unfortunately, taking your kid to a little league is default. That doesn't mean you can't do anything with your kids. And I'm not a big believer in quality time over quantity of time, but there is some truth in that. There is some truth in that. But my mother used to use it, well, you're not going to do that, Danny? Well, we're going to have to get your dad involved. Boy, I start breathing through my rectum. Oh, no. Exactly. Could you tell me that, Mom, again, exactly what you want me to do?
Yeah.
Because that's the last fucking thing I wanted, to interface with my dad. Forget about it. All of a sudden, what she said that sounded so fucking goofy sounded like it made sense then. Okay, so that's the complete wrong end of quality time because of the very few hours that I spent with my dad. And then we're going to talk about 3 or 4 times that my dad, he read a book, or I don't know what he did, but he decided he wanted to bond. And they were all disasters for me as a 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old young boy. Fuck, what's the bonding shit, Because, that means that Dad was going to spend time with me, but he didn't call it quality time. He just said, we're gonna go fishing. Or we're going to go this. Or, I tell the story, well, I'll tell them in depth. We're going to go to a father-son picnic. Well, that's the worst fucking afternoon of my life. A father-son picnic with my dad. First of all, everybody was afraid of him. The fathers were afraid of him. And he carried a gun. And in those days, off-duty law enforcement could carry guns, not concealed. So he had a big fucking gun on his hip wherever he went. So, None of the kids, all the kids wanted to, let's go talk with Danny because, we can look at his dad's gun. But of course, my dad never showed him the gun, but you could see the gun. But I mean, and those things still are with me today. It's like last night I fell asleep saying my prayers. I'm 72 fucking years old. I fall asleep every night saying my prayers. The Catholics got me right by the balls. The first 7 or 8 years of life is when your self-esteem is built. The Catholic Church says, not in the written doctrine, you give me your child for the first 7 or 8 years and I will own them the rest of their lives. They're right. I fall asleep somewhere between 70 and I have about 125 people on my prayer list. I fall asleep when I'm really, really tired, I fall asleep at 40 or 45, the person. If I'm not so tired, I fall asleep about 70 or 75, and it's very seldom do I ever get through the whole list. But I mean, I feel fucking guilt if I don't say my prayers at night. 72 years old. Now, Catholics have a big impact, and you'll see a lot of nuns and priests and my wall of influencers, and they think that's good, of course. The church thinks that's good. They think it's great, it's terrific. That's why they say that I'm on a rocket ship. I'm going to pass Elon Musk. When he's on his way to Mars, I'm going to pass him on my way to heaven. Now, if Mother Teresa, who was a hard bitch, can be a saint, then the nuns are right. I will go to heaven if there is one. There's no fucking doubt in my military civilian mind. I am on a rocket motherfucking ship to heaven. Because she was a hard bitch. And she was a saint. I put my money on that bitch when she was just a nun. So as the guy from Canada, University of Toronto, Peterson, the guy that's the anti, I don't know what he's anti, but they say he's like me. I don't know if that's true or not. He said, when they asked the question, do you believe in God? And he says, I act as if there is one. I act as if there is one. So I guess I act as if there is one. Okay, what else about the bicycle? Can anybody?
It seemed like even though they were told they knew it was backwards, it still didn't get in their system how to do it, but they consciously recognized it.
You will feel that feeling a week from today. And you will fight it. You'll know that you should do this, but you're still going to do this. You go back to default. You go back to default. And default's not your friend. Okay, what about the movie?
It doesn't matter how much potential or talents you have. His two main principles were persistence and determination. If you use those, you'll be able to get what you want.
And the movie we're alluding to, guys, for YouTube, is the founder. It's the story about Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, who was also an asshole. Now, we're going to talk about, 15 or 20 guys on my influencer. In today's language, they're all assholes because they're all hard. They make hard decisions. They fired thousands of people. They've crushed lives. Now, so the YouTubers and some of you in this room that want to save the world, and remember, I'm here to teach you how to get enough money to save the world, but I don't give a fuck about saving the world myself personally. And I would be a fucking hypocrite if I said any different. But success leaves clues. Thomas Edison, Ford, Carnegie, we're all really Darth Vaders. Hard. Elon Musk. We're going to talk about some of the stories about Elon Musk that if you Google on the 50th page of Google, it's there. But you don't, everybody, what's the first page? First 2 pages maybe? Some of you have never been to the 50th page on any of these guys. But you don't want to know. You don't want to know. We're going to talk about Steve Jobs. And most of these guys I've had the privilege of knowing. And some of which I even worked with. They're all hard as nails. They think I'm a pussy. They think I'm easy. Not a snowflake. Now, if I'm easy, what the fuck are you? But you can still do it. You don't have to be an alpha male. You don't have to be a hard ass. You don't have to be Jocko, the Navy SEAL guy. You don't have to be any of that. But what you've got to be is what Daniel said, persistent. And as they say in the SEALs, well, I'm not going to quit today. I'm not going to quit today. And QLA is the same. I'm not going to quit today. Put it off till tomorrow. Sleep on it. Because some of you, if not all of you in this room, will contemplate quitting the program. And that's why my mentorship from the time you leave here for a year is for free. If I see that you're just wasting my time and wasting your time, I throw you out. I also, it's not likely, I get fed up to here, I can't take it anymore, that I can just quit because I'm doing it for free. I'm doing it for free. But all the stuff you're going to learn in detail, ad nauseum here, is on my site free. 99.99% of all the people that have benefited from QLA, I've never met. I wouldn't know them, if I had a guy come up to me I was at the Ritz for New Year's Eve. Sally and I like to go to the Ritz for New Year's Eve, and it's a very expensive evening. A guy came up to me while I'm on the dance floor, and he taps me on the shoulder. And in this day and age, I thought he wanted to dance with me. You don't know. You don't fucking know now. And I would have smacked him. I would have, But he says, no, I just want to say, hi, Mr. Peña, I'm a reeler. And the people that were dancing around me, because it was packed in, were looking at it, they don't know what a reeler is. Now, other than myself and that kid, nobody at the Ritz New Year's Eve party of wealthy, well-to-do people knew what a reeler was, London reeler. And he says, I just want and I was surprised. I wrote Brian the next day. I'm surprised the guy had $5,000, $5,000 pounds, to come. I was happy for him. I don't see any of you Brits, any of the UK guys here that are here in this room. But the founder, Kroc, was a hard bastard. What else did you take away from the movie?
He's going to put it all on the line. Mortgage his house and all that. And face.
I've been there, done that.
Cut out negative people.
Yeah.
Some of you in this room are pleasers, meaning you don't. Not only don't you want confrontation, you want to please people so they'll like you. That's part of your default. That's a motherfucker. That's hard. That's hard. Whereas I didn't do my job. If you don't leave here in a week from now not liking me, I fucked up something. When I give the talks at the universities, which I really enjoy. I'm giving, 8 or 9 of them again this year. I tell the kids, if you like me at the end of this talk, I failed you. And the kids, because that's the antithesis of what they've been taught in their life. I failed you. I did wrong by you. And it's free. I mean, it's not like they're paying me to come there, but I failed you. And so, if you want a friend, buy a dog. I didn't know how prolific that was when I said that 25 years ago. But we're not here, and there's no networking here. If I find out you're networking, I throw you out of the program. And people will chase you, so to speak, to try to interface with you. We'll leave it at that. Okay, you two, talk to you later.